Hello everyone, my name is Nazneen and for my second case study I've chosen a famous person, Helen Keller, the unwavering spirit and remarkable legacy of a woman whose life was an example of bravery, tenacity and steadfast determination. As I go through Helen Keller's life story in today's presentation, I'll examine her life and career through various action, relationship and story theories. Afterwards, I'll discuss my viewpoints as a career development professional and consider how I could interact with her if she was a client. Born in Ivy Green, Alabama in 1880, Helen Keller grew up with two half-brothers and two full siblings from her father's previous marriage. Her father was an editor and a former captain of the Confederacy with a family history of owning slaves. Charles Adams, a Confederate general, was her mother's father. Due to a medical ailment, Keller lost her eyesight and hearing at the age of 19 months. Anne Sullivan had helped her acquire linguistic abilities by the time she was 7 years old. Keller was the first deaf-blind person in the US to get a Bachelor of Arts from Radcliffe College. Despite her disability, she wrote multiple books, lectured, and supported social justice, disability rights, and civil liberties. In addition, Keller co-founded the American Civil Liberties Union and had connections to the Socialist Party. Despite her difficulties, Helen Keller's outstanding accomplishments are evident. Her life story was portrayed in the silent film Deliverance, highlighting her support for reading accessibility and Braille. Keller's international influence spanned 35 nations and encouraged governments to open blind schools. Awards such as esteemed gold medal from the National Institute of Social Sciences recognize her lasting influence. Her great life has been filled with many more successes. Before we use the theory of action to examine Helen's career, let's talk about her from her famous quote, "I do not like the world as it is, so I'm trying to make it a little more as I want." The well-known statement by Helen Keller epitomizes the theory of action since it shows a proactive attitude towards transformation and development. Fundamentally, the idea of action argues that people have agency or the capacity to take intentional, purposeful actions that affect or change their surroundings. What is a personal agency? When people have the knowledge and abilities to take charge of their careers, they will take action in that regard. The life narrative of Helen Keller is a powerful illustration of human agency. She was blind and deaf from an early age, which presented many difficulties, yet she showed remarkable willpower and agency throughout her life. These are the few instances of personal agency. Despite her limitations, Helen Keller actively sought out relationships. Before meeting her instructor Anne Sullivan, she learned through touch and sign language. This was her self-promotion. Despite her circumstances, Keller continued her education, attending specialized schools and eventually graduating. This was her academic endeavors. Keller developed into a fervent supporter of disability rights, utilizing her platform to increase public awareness of the difficulties experienced by people with impairments. Through her experiences, Keller wrote well-known books like The Story of My Life, which educated and inspired readers. Keller demonstrated her capacity to effect change beyond disability activism by actively participating in political and social movements. She backed women's suffrage and labor rights. Let's move into social learning. Helen Keller's life served as an example of exceptional social learning. Despite her limitations, she increased her knowledge through touch and sign language with the help of Anne Sullivan. Cultural exchanges and familial support propelled her advocacy in the future. Similar to Keller's active participation, occupations are built in constructivism. She developed her understanding through tactile learning, and her writings demonstrate her unshakable devotion to social justice and women's rights. Motivated by values, her career was erratic and varied in her jobs, demonstrating her commitment to learning from touch to voice. Keller's deeds, writings, and powerful speeches championed issues beyond convention and left a lasting legacy. Active career management encourages continuous development and is praised for its boldness and accountability. On the other hand, depending only on outside benefits could reduce personal agency and impact long-term fulfillment. These quotations stress the need for critical thinking for professional advancement and the benefits of self-directed learning. However, timely decisions can result in lost chances. Strategies that promote proactive planning and in-depth career exploration are essential to prevent professional idleness. These are my perspectives as a CDP. Important contacts profoundly impacted Helen Keller's professional development. To improve Helen's communication skills, Helen's mother, Kate Keller, devoted her life to her education. Dr. Alexander Graham Bell, who helped Helen meet her lifelong teacher and friend Anne Sullivan, was introduced to them by Kate's contacts. To change Helen's isolation into connection and learning, Anne's steadfast dedication and creative teaching methods were essential to her development. She also had access to Mark Twain, whose endorsement increased Helen's stature and influence in literary and advocacy circles. Helen's lobbying activities were accelerated by his endorsement, which elevated her voice and made her more accessible to a broader range of people. More than merely a means of gaining knowledge, Helen Keller's education inspired a lifelong dedication to social justice. In addition to being tools, writing and communication were crucial to her profession since they allowed her to express herself intimately and build strong relationships with people. Her fervor for transformation had a significant influence on the community. She started ongoing conversations for societal change by fostering empathy and understanding via her words and deeds. A key component of career success is the importance of relationships and networking. Strong relationships can open doors, improve career skills, and provide more flexibility in the workplace. Still, depending only on existing networks may restrict one's career choices and sense of self. Trust and credibility in business relationships may be damaged by placing impression control over genuineness. Different representations of Helen Keller's life have been made in a variety of media. Numerous books, including her autobiography and other biographies, provide revealing insights into her activism, triumphs, and hardships, each emphasizing a different facet. Cinematic depictions in films and documentaries highlight various aspects of her life. Some emphasize her connection with Anne Sullivan, while others draw attention to her accomplishments as a writer and activist. To explain her relationship with Anne Sullivan or significant academic events, theatre plays frequently dig into dramatic themes and emotional ties. Educational resources and exhibits aim to present a thorough understanding of her life and legacy through multimedia elements that enable interactive interaction with a range of topics. Outdated tests from Helen Keller's day would be replaced with contemporary career counseling tools and techniques catered to her sensory requirements. Her job goals would be more closely matched with accessible educational resources like adaptive programs and online courses. Technology would expand her job alternatives by allowing her to explore various work environments. Global advocacy initiatives would be more accessible for her to access with modern communication tools. When opposed to the constraints of her day, modern resources would ultimately provide Keller with more chances to investigate and choose her professional route. Thank you.